not allowed to film inside the building, so I've gone outside the building in order to give an update on this afternoon's hearing so far. We're on our second afternoon break of day 33 of the Undercover Policing Inquiry, tranche 2, phase 2. We've just been listening to more questions for Paul Gravett, about, this time about HN1 mostly. And a few other bits and pieces. We finally got on to the undercover police officer who will be giving evidence from Wednesday to Friday this week. A lot about his role within the group. We heard a fair bit about Andy Cole's first. There was a quite hilarious bit where we contrasted the leaving do of Andy Cole's to that of HN1, who's the cover name Matt Rayner. There's only one person at Andy Cole's is leaving do, whilst it was a very large event for HN1. There's a lot about how HN1 kind of supposedly was deployed in January of 1992. Gravett is very clear that he signed his name on a list that was passed around at the first meeting of London Boots Action Group in November of 1991, and then he himself met him and had a chat with him on the 17th of December that year. So there's some discrepancy there around when the deployment was. God, it's really cold out here. I'm just in my t-shirt. I can't actually speak for very long because I have to go back in because it takes so long to get out of the building in order to film this outside before I have to go back in for the second half of the hearings resume. So yeah, it's really a frustrating situation where I'm not allowed to film inside. Allegedly it's not the inquiry who are making that decision, it is the people who own the building, which is WeWork, or people who are renting the building out to the inquiry. I'm not sure if this will continue. I'm pretty sure I'm going to come up with some other solution rather than me coming out in the cold every break, but I don't know. I better go back in. There's been a few bits around how HM1 has kind of denied his involvement in taking part in direct action. He likes to say that, I was just a driver, as if this somehow absolves him of any sort of crime, but he's the driver of people who have gone to, for example, we had the disruption of the Grand National in 1993, which he drove people in his van to, though he didn't run onto the course himself. And, the people he drove there caused £75 million worth of lost income for the racing industry and the betting industry that day. On the disruption of the Glorious 12th that year or next year, he was he likes to say, I was just in my van, I didn't leave my van. Paul Gravett totally dismisses this. He knew he was away, really. HM1 is probably the most significant one. Yeah, there's a lot to be said about it, really. I better go back inside, otherwise I'm going to miss the second part of the hearing. Cheers for joining.